Yo, what's up guys? Old School Dan here, and in this video, we're gonna go over the golden era bodybuilding diet. Now, I got a lot of requests for this video, but I wasn't sure whether they wanted the golden era version or they wanted the silver era version. What I mean by that is that did you want it in the Arnold Schwarzenegger version, like the 70s, or did you want it the Steve Reeves version? Like, I wasn't sure. So, if anything, I'm just gonna make both of them. And you have to excuse me because I'm a little sick right now. I got a stuffy nose. I got a little bit of a cough. So I'm just gonna power through it. I'm not gonna let anything stop me. But in this video, we're gonna go over like the diet, what they ate, what they mostly ate of. Then I'm basically gonna go through it like a seminar. Like I'm just gonna blow out tons of facts, tons of value. Just give you everything I know on the golden era bodybuilding diet. All right, so yeah, let's get started. All right, so what was their diet like? Well, they ate about 4 to 5 times a day. Their diet was very high in protein, fat, and low in carbs. They ate a lot of eggs, fish, meat, vegetables, nuts, cottage cheese, fresh fruits, plenty of salad, milk products as well. You know what? They ate a lot of beef too. They ate a lot of beef. One time, Arnold Schwarzenegger walked into I think it was a restaurant with some bodybuilders, friends, I assume. I don't know if it was him or someone else, but they were all sitting down eating their food, and like I guess someone ordered like a shit ton of hamburger patties. I'm talking about like 45 patties, and this is all one sitting. And then everybody around the table was like, "Oh my god, that guy's eating 45 patties at one sitting. Oh Jesus, who are those guys? Who is that?" It's kind of funny, but yeah. Eggs. Eggs were pretty big back then. They ate a lot of those, especially at breakfast. They always had the steak and eggs, like Robbie Robinson, Rick Drazen, or Schwarzenegger. Eggs were big back then. Guys like menzter came up with a diet that you had to eat 32 to 35 eggs a day, because they were like a really good way to boost up your testosterone, and well, obviously a good source of protein too. You got to remember, a lot of these guys stayed in condition year round, except Ken Waller. He would go crazy in off season, but guys, they would have one cheat day out of the week. I remember Franco and Arnold. They went to the pie place in Santa Monica, and they would just splurge damn it, they would just splurge on the pies. And this was even before competition too. And actually, they would even look better after they ate the pies. Everybody was like freaking out, like, "Oh my god, these guys, they look even better. They just came back from the pies. They just came back from eating pies." Funny because same thing happened with Mike Menzter and not Mike Menzter. Same thing happened with Tom Platz. Tom Platz wanted to stay in condition year round. He didn't want. He was afraid he was gonna lose his like conditioning, and Mike Menzter told him like, just eat a little bit more carbs, man. Just eat more carbs. And Tom Platz was like freaking out. He didn't want to lose his conditioning, and Tom Platz said, "No, it's cool. Just eat more carbs. Trust me, you'll be good." And then Tom Platz, had a little carbs. He had some Pop Tarts, and he said he looked even better. He was even more full, if anything, tighter as well too. So that's kind of funny because it's sort of relevant that Arnold looked better after he ate the pies. So did Franco, and then same thing with Tom Platz as well. So yeah, they weren't so big on eating carbs back then. But you're probably wondering, how did they bulk up with no carbs? The same way Larry Scott did. They just did. They just bulked up with no carbs, just high protein, high fat. Kind of like the same way a diabetic would gain weight, because diabetics, they can't eat a lot of carbs. All that those carbs transform into sugar, and too much sugar, and it spikes their insulin, and then that's bad for them. So same way Larry Scott did, and the same way a person with diabetes would. And another thing, they never got lightheaded by just eating no carbs. They didn't even have a lack of energy. They were just always super enthusiastic to train. Oh yeah, and another thing about the conditioning thing, I remember, I don't know if it was the Mr. America, I forgot, Mr. Universe, I forgot what contest it was, but Dave Draper was, I think it was after the contest, and Bill Pearl, he sees Bill Pearl eating like an apple or some kind of fruit or whatever it was. He said it looked tasty, but he's talking to Bill Pearl, and Bill Pearl's like, no, actually, Dave Draper was like, "Hey, like, isn't that bad for you? Like, can't you like, aren't you like not supposed to eat that?" Bill Pearl's like, "Sure I can, man, and it tastes good too. You want some?" And he was like, No, won't I lose my shape with if I eat that?" He's like, "You will, but if you really want to grow, like you have to." He told him, you have to understand that if you stay in condition year round, you get stale. So he ended up convincing Dave Draper to just eat a little more, Well, Dave Draper said he didn't go overboard, but he just ate a little bit more food, and he said the pumps were better, his strength went up, and then actually, he ended up winning the Mr. America that I think it was the next year. So now I can imagine that you're probably thinking, damn, carbs must have been the enemy back then. They were. Everybody was like freaking out, like, oh my god, I don't want to lose my conditioning. I don't want to eat more carbs. I don't want to eat more food. I need to stay in condition. Oh yeah, and another thing, they didn't track macros or track food or anything like that. It's just like they ate a lot of food and just busted their butts in the gym, except Robbie Robinson. He didn't. It's like he didn't eat a lot, but he would just grow like crazy. It's weird. But yeah, this is sort of relevant to like Lever Colbert says they didn't really count their food either. If they wanted to gain weight, they would just eat a lot of food and train like the devil. And if they wanted to lose weight, they ate less and trained like the devil. So yeah, if they wanted to lose weight, they would just eat less food, just kind of like Bruce Randall did. When he was like 300 pounds, everything he ate, he would just take away like two, I think it was like 1 or 2 servings, and that's how he lost weight. That's how he went from like 300 pounds to like 200 18-pound Mr. Universe. So yeah, they never tracked macros or food or anything like that. They were just super aware of what they were eating though. Arnold said they would even keep tabs on each other, that they went out to the buffet or the restaurant when they went to eat together, that if they saw anybody pick up that white bread, like they would all just like scold them like, "Oh my god, like what are you doing, man? Don't do it. Don't eat the bread. Like, we got to stay in condition." Another thing, steak and eggs was big back then. Everybody did it. Vince Gironda, Larry Scott, let's see. It was very popular for breakfast. Yeah, Vince Gironda was really big on the steak and eggs diet. He advocated to a lot of his students to be on that type of diet. Interesting point. Remember when I said they ate a lot of red meat back then? They ate a lot of steak, ground beef. Interesting because Lever Colbert found that when he ate red meat, he got better results compared to when he ate chicken. Red meat really helped them grow. It's too bad Bill Pearl had to cut red meat out of his diet because he almost had a heart attack. Well, could have had a heart attack. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, Bill Pearl still won 2 Mr. Universes without red meat. So it's kind of like up to debate, I guess. So yeah, some of the foods they stayed away from was like no pasta, no white rice, no bread, no junk food, obviously, of course. Oh yeah, so another thing. When they were getting close to the competition, they ate a lot of tuna. But do you know why, right? Before I tell you why, I want to tell you a quick story about something that happened at Vince's gym. You know I'm sure you know who Rio H. Blair is, right? Like the super nutritionist, the guy who made the Blair protein. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Well, one time he walked into Vince's gym and he asked Vince, "Is it cool? If I talk to you guys?" Vince said, "It's cool." Vince is a nice guy, by the way. Very black and white though. Anyways, he went and asked like some of the guys at Vince's gym. Actually, one of them was the name of Larry Scott, famous Larry Scott. Yeah, he was there. Rio H. Blair asked him, how do you get in shape? How do you guys get in shape? And Larry Scott and the other guys were like, well, we do this, we gain the weight, then we cut weight, and then we do this. This is how we get ready for competition. And then Rio Blair said, that's not how you do it. And then Larry Scott and the guys were like, what do you know about it? He wasn't getting their attention. He was just a stranger. But he was like, come back to my office. I want to show you something. So, they followed him back to the office, and like it was like a small office, and on the wall he had like tons of pictures, and they were just some of the most amazing transformations. Larry Scott couldn't believe they were the same people, but they were, because he noticed that one of the women's had the little mole right near where her lip is at, and in the same picture, so that she had it. So it's like they were the same people, and now they were interested, so they were like, well, how do you do it? And he said, the ratios. It's the ratios. And the reason they use tuna so much is because of the ratio, the protein ratio. It's 13-to-1. You won't find another ratio like that. That's why tuna strips fat off your body. All right, let's start wrapping up the video. We talked about, the meals. They ate 4 to 5 meals a day. They're high in protein, high in fat, low in carbs, lots of steak and eggs, lots of red meat. Eggs, they were big on the eggs. They ate a lot of fruit, fresh vegetables. And they had one cheat day out of the week. And some of the foods they didn't eat was like no pasta, no white rice, no bread. And they ate a lot of tuna before competitions because, the ratios. With that being said, like this video right now. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And before you go, leave a comment on what you would like to see next. Because I take requests insanely fast. Like, This video was requested to me about 2 weeks ago, maybe about a week ago, and boom, I got it done. I take them very seriously. Thanks for watching. This is Old School Dan checking out. Peace.